In this edition of RacerX Rapid News presented by Fly Racing, we discuss Eli Tomac extending his deal with Yamaha to race the entire 2023 season, including the Pro Motocross Championship and the all-new SMX World Championship rounds in the fall. This is news because Tomac spent last summer saying it was probably going to be, well, his last summer racing Pro Motocross, saying he was only planning on racing Supercross in 2023, and that would, of course, open the door of potential retirement soon, maybe as soon as this year's Salt Lake City Monster Energy Supercross finale in May. But things have been changing rapidly. First, Tomac was getting a little more coy with his answers about his future, and then on the SuperMotocross show last Monday, he said he was now 50-50 about racing the SMX World Championship playoffs, saying at the beginning of the year he was probably 98 to 99% sure he was done after Supercross. But then Saturday afternoon in Arlington, Texas, Tomac and Yamaha announced he's going to race the full season, not just the SMX playoff rounds, but he'll return to defend his #1 plate in the Pro Motocross Championship as well. Now the mind begins to boggle with the possibilities. First, what we'll see this year. Perhaps a Tomac versus Sexton rematch after a scintillating battle last summer. And don't count out Tomac's Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing teammate Dylan Ferrandis, who dominated the 2021 450 motocross campaign, but missed nearly all of his 2022 title defense with injury. If Ferrandis comes in healthy, he could run with anyone. And then there's the looming specter of two-time 250 motocross champion Jett Lawrence. Jett will make the full-time move to 450 racing starting this summer, and it would have been pretty tragic from a racing standpoint to see Jett's first full 450 season beginning just as Tomac had retired. Instead, now they'll go head-to-head. So what led to the change of heart for Tomac? According to himself in the post-race press conference in the most recent Supercross race at Arlington, he said this was actually the plan all along. Enter the season, see how he felt, and see if he wanted to go into the outdoor campaign, and he thanked his Star Racing Yamaha team for giving him the option. In talking to the team, it was always on the table, and as a matter of fact, the team was hoping that Tomac would make this decision all along. After all, no one wants to leave a rider capable of winning races and titles on the sidelines. However, in the past, it had become the trend for riders to attempt to retire on top. In this case, Tomac's just going to keep running it out. He could have left on the top of the sport at the end of 2022, but he feels strong enough to keep trying to defend the titles both indoors and now out, plus take a shot at the huge payday with $1 million being awarded to the champion of the first SuperMotocross World Championship playoffs later in the year. But there's one other question. What comes after that? Will Tomac try another run in 2024? Maybe this time just in Supercross, or maybe through all of the series again. And where that gets interesting is how it impacts other riders. The recent success, some of it from Tomac, for Star Racing and their Yamaha 450 program has led a lot of riders in the pits to covet that ride. And if Tomac had chosen to retire, certainly there could be some movement to fill that spot. But that spot might not need to be filled now. Certainly not this year, and maybe not even next. While the 2023 season has already produced some compelling racing, it might ultimately be remembered as the year of the biggest free agent crop ever. Just one rider in today's top 10 standing to the 450 class of Monster Energy Supercross has a contract for next year. That's Christian Craig. The other 9 are all up for grabs. So Tomac, coming back or not next year, will certainly have an impact on who ends up where, and in fact, that's probably why we've heard less chatter about next season's spots than we normally do at this time of year. Could Eli Tomac come back and race again? That decision will have a huge impact, both on and off the track. Thanks for watching this edition of RacerX Rapid News, brought to you by Fly Racing.